Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 44 Stat. I am Kelsey KC Charles, Coop Charles, along with Antonio Brother on loan, and we got West Coast Dave in the house. How's everybody doing this afternoon?
Chilling.
Hey, doing good, man. In comparison to some of the other folks down here in the South, Dave, you in the West Coast, so we were talking before the show started. Uh, Prayers up to everyone in South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina,
North Carolina.
parts of
Yeah.
Florida. Asheville is totally gone, y'all. Totally gone.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I-40 between Knoxville and Asheville is no more. So it's folks are having a difficult time.
For sure.
Not trying to belittle that. We're gonna try to go ahead on with what we do. If you get an opportunity to listen, we greatly appreciate it. I know you got more important things going on right now, but just try. Sometimes you might, when you're going through it, sometimes you just need a smile. So we're gonna try to provide that tonight. We're gonna try to stay on topic tonight, and
What you saying, man?
do an actual 44 stack. But before we get started, also, we lost a lot of great folks in the last couple of days, man. From the NBA world, Mount Mutombo, Dikembe Mutombo, former Georgetown center, former center for the Atlanta Hawks, 76ers. Who else did Dikembe play for?
Houston. For the Nuggets.
He played for the Nuggets
Yeah.
for a minute. The first great second great African basketball player after Elijah Wan.
That was an 8-1 upset, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the first 8-1 upset in playoffs when they beat the Supersonics. And for those of you children that don't know, the Supersonics once upon a time was a great franchise. Okay, but that's another story all into itself. Hopefully they'll be back if they expand. I don't want the NBA to expand. I just want them to move somebody to Seattle. Preferably Oklahoma City needs to go back to Seattle, if you ask me. Shouldn't have never left in the first place. But anyway, and then we also lost Pete Rose on yesterday. Say what you want. Growing up, if you grew up in the 70s and 80s like we did, Pete Rose was a common factor on Saturday afternoons in the summer because he always seemed he was on a team that was playing in the World Series or on a team that was in the playoff race. So you saw Pete Rose a lot. A lot of people loved the way that he hustled, played the game. He quote unquote played the game hard. But Pete let his demons destroy him in the end.
But it's crazy now though, because I mean, you got a whole lot of people. They made a business out of it, but that's that. I digress. But if you're playing, you can't do it. I understand.
His was managing the team.
Right.
On the same team. Like I don't care. Like if you're betting on other games, you're betting on other games. You can't bet on your team though. That's
the number one rule, and this has been the number one rule in Major League Baseball, NBA, and football. You cannot bet on your own sport. That has been the rule for 100 years. So there is no excuse for it. Now, me personally, I feel like he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame because during his playing time, he was one of the greatest ball players to ever play. He was part of the Big Red Machine. That by itself is enough to put him in just because of the fact, I mean, you won 3 world championships during that time. And that's one of the greatest baseball lineups of all time. He deserved to be in with the rest of them.
I remember looking at him, man. Him and Ozzie Smith. I used to always This Week in Baseball. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
So for those of us that ain't had cable, This Week in Baseball came on like every Saturday before that, whatever that national game was, and you would see him, you would see Ozzie doing something spectacular every week, and that's how, because in the area we was in, we get the Braves game most of the time.
Braves most of the time.
99% of the time, yeah.
Yep.
So
yeah. So you got a chance to see him a lot because when we were growing up, looked like when my granddad took us to Atlanta, looked like the Reds was always in town. It wasn't the Reds when he went to the Phillies. We would always see the Phillies too. So it's been fortunate. Got to see him play. unfortunate he's not in the Hall of Fame, but rest in peace to Pete Rose. And then today we got word, and then I just found out before we came on, John Amos, famously James Evans, famously Mr. McDowell from Coming to America,
famously Martin,
famously Kunta Kinte,
pee on his pants in the Martin episode. Boy,
yeah, famous for all of that. James Evans passed in August. Family just now said something about it, but RIP to a true family man, a man that a lot of black men patterned their livelihood around, because James Evans, regardless of what you felt like, James Evans was a strong black figure in his household. James Evans was definitely the father that you looked up to, you wanted to be. My granddaddy loved him. He called him the hollering man, because that's all James did was holler.
But, the little national star flaring,
they could have got out of the ghetto a long time ago if he didn't listen to Florida. But that's another story for another day.
Black Jesus.
Oh well, it could have been Black Jesus. He could have went with Sam the preacher man. All of that. They could have got out of the ghetto, man. Florida was always, always, he should have got a hold of Mad Dog when he shot JJ, all of that stuff. Yeah. But Florida was always there.
Well, he did get hold of Michael a little friend.
Oh yeah. He gave Eddie.
He wants his ass.
Gave Eddie. The Big Mac. Yeah, he got the Big Mac. Yeah.
Hey, this what he did to Mad Dog in the courthouse.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He kept a pocket full of pencils.
And then my all-time favorite line from James, well, two of them, my all-time favorite line from James, and then we're going to get into football. Number one was when Florida was mad because she didn't have nothing to do, and the great saying of the kitchen and the bedroom, Florida,
don't say it, James. Don't you say it.
That was classic. And then, of course, I love it every time it comes on, the Wiggler. Hey, baby, this coffee cold. How about give me another cup of thigh? That right there is the funniest episode of Good Time, because you think my husband is like this? Yes, Lord. That right there by itself is comedy gold. That whole sequence, and like I say, he is one of the James Evans, along with Philip Banks, is probably two of the greatest fathers of sitcom.
Don't forget now, he stood up to Sweet Daddy too now when it came to JJ.
Yeah, but wait a minute, but let's be real about Sweet Daddy. Sweet Daddy had things under control. But Sweet Daddy was better when he had Bubba Smith and the other dude.
Yeah.
Because if you step the Sweets, Sweet. You ain't had to worry about it. Now Sweet Daddy really ran the ghetto. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, and that was another time they could have got out of the ghetto. But again, we could do a whole doctoral thesis on how many.
Alderman Davis was about to get him out the ghetto. Remember?
Exactly. Yeah.
Alderman was about to get
Alderman Davis. Look at him. Hey, Fred. And you too was on him. Yeah, that right there, bro. You don't get that no more on TV. You know what I'm saying?
No.
That is just true classic television. That because Alderman Davis played pivotal roles not only in Good Times but also on Sanford and Son as well.
Oh yeah, they saw real life values on there. They talked about current themes, and they didn't sugarcoat anything back then. They you got to be careful nowadays. But back then things were real. You got All in the Family, the Jeffersons, Maude, all that stuff, man. Those are real comedies, man. But we gonna get it. We gonna stay on track tonight. Yeah,
bruh. But before we go, I'm just gonna say this here to some of our listeners. Anytime you get to watch early Archie Bunkers with Sherman Hemsley playing George Jefferson, bruh, that is comedy gold. Because Archie Bunker and George Jefferson had the greatest battles. You thought Fred and Esther had battles? No. No. They did not have battles like George and Archie, because it was gonna be stupid. And one could outdo the other every time.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
It's crazy. The one who got out was the one who was supposed to stay back.
Right. You know, that's the thing. All right, so tonight.
And for all you people that don't understand, I'm gonna say this as we get started. You know, for the new folks, Chief Gillespie, that was Archie Bunker. So
yes,
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. Yes, if that look here, that by itself should tell you right there. That was an interesting dynamic all to itself because when we were little, he hated black people. But when we got older, now I will say this here. I can understand Harry DeLong was if you got to hit your wagon to a truck, you know, that's a truck you hit your wagon to right there. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave that alone. Y'all read between the lines on that. Okay. If you're going to hit your wagon, that's a wagon you need to hitch to. Okay. I'm just going to say, you know. All right. So let's start. College football we missed last week. Had a great time. Great show anyway. Go check it out on STP. It's up as we speak. Great show. Got good feedback on that. Excellent week. So, hey, let's go on and do what we do best on football. Let's talk about Virginia Tech and Miami.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
Bruh, I agree with the call. There's a lot of people saying that the ACC cheated for Miami, but I don't go that route. It was the correct call, man. It was the correct
when you said the out of bounds part, because if you look at it, you do wonder how long somebody has to, because even if it's simultaneous possession, it goes to the offense. But he came down actually with the ball and held it for a second. So, but T, when you put in there that when the Miami defender touched the ball, one of you guys, I can't remember which one.
I did.
Then the play was dead and it was over. Then I understood. But on the end, if you pull that ball down and you come down, the dude was fighting at it at the end. So how long?
Right.
Because just last night on the Monday night game, the same thing, and they called that a touchdown. So I don't know the difference between what is and what's not. They're getting back to what is a catch and what is not a catch now.
What is not a catch? Yes.
The thing about the Virginia Tech game was you had no really, really definitive view to say that ball wasn't moving when he hit the ground. If he had
called it touchdown though on the field.
Well,
yeah. So it's hard to
understand that call on
the
field. Yeah. But in actuality, and I'll throw this tidbit in on it. When he came down, even if they had simultaneous possession, when he came down, the Miami defender was out of bounds.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
And even if you called it simultaneous possession, the ball is dead at that point because the Miami defender is out of bounds. Okay. So either way, the call would have been right. The only problem everybody has a problem with is because they're saying the ACC officials on the field called it touchdown and they shouldn't have been able to overrule it. But that's what you got instant replay for. And really, if you look at it, that was truly what happened. Because even though he pulled it out after they hit the ground, if you had simultaneous possession when you hit the ground and the Miami defender is out of bounds and you saying it's simultaneous possession, that ball is dead at that point.
Now, because you have to look at it because when he came down with it, it's not like he had both hands. It was kind of like pinned on his side.
Right.
And so that's what got it for me. Because if he'd had possession of, regardless if the Miami defender got it after that, that would have been touchdown. I would agree with, not overturning the call. I would have been upset with him not overturning the call. I mean, keeping the call the same, but when it came down, you could see he was kind of turning. It was pinned on his side. So he really didn't have possession. So.
And then the other part of it is this here too. And let's just be real. Virginia Tech can cry and moan all they want. You shouldn't have lost the game, period. Because you had dominated Miami for 3.5 quarters.
58 minutes. Yeah.
So you shouldn't even have yourself in that position where you needed to do it. You missed the field goal, which would have put the game out of reach. And then you did the inexplicable. You stopped rushing Miami, which is what you had been doing pretty good all game. And you wanted to play prevent defense. When you play prevent, it prevents you from winning the game.
Yep.
Every time. So they can cry and moan about it. Now I go on record as saying that Miami travels to Cal this week, and they better watch out because I'm still trying to figure out what happened that they didn't beat Florida State, because I thought they had a good shot to win that game. Cal is going to play Miami very, very good. And because this is the first time game day is going there, I'm telling you, this is going to be an atmosphere that you're not used to. It's West Coast. So that game don't come on to 10:30 on the East Coast, but you better watch out because
Cal, it sets on an interesting piece of land. Yeah. It is actually in the hood and in the suburb, in the suburbs. Cal is situated as such a crazy, because half of it actually sets in Oakland. I mean, right. And then the other half of it says, so just Cal got a crazy geography about it.
It's funny because people don't realize, if you're not from the coast, you don't understand that Cal really sits half, like you say, half is in Oakland, half is what you call Berkeley. Yeah. But it's basically the same place, it's ridiculous. It's almost like, and that's just like, if you don't understand that Southern Cal is smack dab in Compton, I mean, yes. You don't realize that till you actually go there. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's part of how, when people built stadiums back in the day, people built universities, because Atlanta is a prime example of it. Your universities are built in the hood, per se. Yeah. And
even Georgia Tech,
right? Even UW here. UW, a lot of it sets in part of the hood, and a lot of it sets in Lake Washington, which is the suburb. Really.
Right. And see, that's the thing, and just like Coop saying, Georgia Tech right there on 75. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
You make a left turn, one left turn off Georgia, you in the West End.
Yeah.
And then they just put my alma mater all the way in the hood. They just put state in OBC and say it's
bro. I mean,
we're gonna leave y'all straight to OBC.
bro. I'm just gonna say, is there any other place in OBC?
No, man. They just said, "Screw, we're gonna
it's the hood, bro."
Hey, mingle amongst yourselves.
Pretty much, yeah.
But I mean, they've done some beautiful things to beautify the area and everything. But I remember when y'all was in school and we would go around the corner to kick booty. So that'll tell you something right there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And kick booty, for y'all that don't know, was a true hole in the wall.
True.
What the name of it had to be.
You know what I'm saying? True hole in the wall, bro. I'm talking about. Now, at my age now, I think about, we used to actually go in there and get stuff, and like, why was I even putting myself in this type of danger? You know what I mean? Because it was dangerous.
Because when you in it, you don't think about it.
No, right. Exactly. It become part of the fabric of what you just around.
Right.
So like you started, like after you had a year or two, you just started knowing it because it's just like wallpaper at that moment.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's just there. You don't think about it at all.
Right. And, and it is what it is, All right, so let's talk about the game of the weekend. I think we were still back and forth, but Georgia, Alabama, bro, it was a
yes.
Paul Feinbaum said it was the greatest SEC game in the last 40 years. I'm not going there for that one, because I've seen some other games. You go back to the LSU. Alabama game, I want to say when Les was there, the 9-6 game. Yeah. The 9-6 game, I think, even though it didn't have as much scoring, the 9-6 game, just from a defensive standpoint, was a better football game. And then you remember that one, the Kentucky LSU game, when Kentucky upset LSU? I think that was 2008. That was Les too. Where Kentucky scored them touchdown at the end there and won that game. Those were great games. But I'm just gonna say this here. Jalen Milroe paid himself a lot of money Saturday night. A lot of money, because I think he securely put himself in QB1 territory. Just seeing what Kalen DeBoer has did with him in a short period of time. He didn't look that good last year, y'all. He did.
No, not at all.
I think he just let him loose. It looks like he just saying, hey, just go play football. He runs.
Yeah, be a football player.
He doesn't do anything. To
Work
me,
his strength.
he's not.
But he accurate though.
But that's what DeBoer did with Penix, right? Penix had that arm. Do what you do, and he put up with a lot of because actually Penix decided to have his worst game, the championship game. That was the worst game he played in the season. But there would be a lot of games before that where you look and say, man, what are you doing throwing this ball? That's part of DeBoer, though, kind of letting you loose and be who you are. So that seemed like the biggest difference to me.
Well,
it paid off. They gave him the confidence at the end. So
yeah, the little freshman, everybody talking about him. I know he's 17, but I'm just gonna be real. If you're good enough to go to Alabama, your age don't matter. I really.
Well, see, with him, he's 17 and about 165, though.
I know,
that is the thing. The thing with him,
the touchdown in the fourth quarter. I mean, when he caught the ball, I was like, oh. But then when he put the spin move on him, he put the spin move on him, boy. He put him in the washing machine, and that was it. And I was
like, he do it twice on the initial catch, and one more time.
He did that. Georgia did a great job coming back. But the flaws that I think we kind of talked about, what we saw at the beginning of the year against Clemson, revealed themselves even more against Alabama. Carson Beck is not what we thought he was.
But I think, see, now I got to differ with you. I actually think in this loss, Georgia found their offense. Because I saw when Kirby grabbed, what's the name by, how he grabbed your body thing, and he told Beck, just let loose. And when he told him that coming out on that third quarter, and he just started throwing the ball, not thinking about it, they look, what's scary to me is Georgia looks like they found an offense, and if they play offensively, anything like that against any of the SEC schools, it's over. Well, maybe Texas. Maybe Texas. Because I still need to see Texas do something against somebody. But Georgia gets anywhere, even halfway to that offense that they produced on Saturday. The rest of that, it will be Georgia and Alabama again for the whatever the SEC, however that looks now for that, because they don't do division no more. Right?
It'll be the top two in the SEC. So, what I saw, and I felt like, I think Bama stopped playing man-to-man defense in the second half.
Yeah,
start playing a lot more zone, and that's what opened it up for him. One of the things, and I think this was a problem last year for Bama too. Bama doesn't have, and it's gonna sound crazy when I say this, Bama doesn't have the defensive depth that they usually have. And I think once it got into a track meet at that point, Bama got tired. Because Georgia, even though Georgia scored, those were long drives in the second half. And it just took a lot out of them. And like I say, I don't think for some reason they don't have the depth that they typically have on defense. And that hurt them at the end of the game. And really, if Beck, one of the things we see, and we didn't exploit it because the first half against Clemson, we saw how Clemson shut down Georgia, and then it fell apart for them. But Georgia's offensively, from a wide receiver and a running back standpoint, is not where they typically are either. So it's going to be interesting when we get to the playoff, depending on what bracket they go into.
And ETN has to play at that level that he played. Like, he can't get hurt. Now, that's another thing, too.
If he goes down.
Yeah, he can't get hurt. And he has, because he is the breakout star. When they started, he had those 10, 15, those little, what I'm talking about,
the little swing
wheel route out the backfield.
Yeah.
So, they, but a lot of that is caveat dependent on him staying healthy.
Well, the thing about it is, and I'll say this here, Georgia has a much tougher road to Atlanta.
Oh, my goodness.
Because they still got to play Texas. They still got to play Texas. They still got to play Tennessee. So it is a much tougher route for them than Alabama has. Alabama, for the most part, only has LSU. Ole Miss is not a problem. I knew that wasn't gonna be a problem. I knew Lane was going Lane. I already knew that. The game against Kentucky just now. What really throws a monkey wrench in this is this here. Kentucky has looked against South Carolina looked pathetic. Okay. Saturday against Ole Miss, they look don't even look like the same team I watched play South Carolina 2 weeks ago. And it's giving people around here are emotional. They feeling like Carolina can upset Ole Miss this week. I ain't going that full.
Where is the game?
Columbia.
You know, man,
because
they got the quarterback back. Time Lane starts to lose about.
Sellers will be back. Sellers will be back. I understand, but I just don't feel like
I'm trying to.
Knowing how Carolina can't feel good about themselves. That has been their detriment for years. Once they feel good about themselves, they're gonna screw it up. And right now, they feeling pretty good about themselves because they feel like in their mind they should have beat LSU when in actuality they screwed that up themselves. You catching Ole Miss, huh?
They didn't have a backup quarterback. They might have been able to pull it out.
Sellers is supposed to be back on Saturday. It's a big game, and then the thing about it is it's a big game that's not a big game. And the reason why I say that is the Georgia game is at 3:30 on ABC against Auburn, which Georgia ought to run through Auburn. Auburn is
good.
Oh my God. They are, oh my God. Because they got beat by a true freshman quarterback that couldn't throw the football. Auburn, I've never seen Auburn this bad. I have never seen Auburn this bad. And that's saying a lot. Because I mean, from a we wasn't our other big rival in the SEC is Auburn for Clemson. And seeing Auburn at this point, I'm like, this don't even look, because you're so used to seeing Auburn be Auburn. You know what I mean? Even when they don't have a great quarterback. And right now, he gonna get fired, man. Hugh Freeze is gonna get fired. Because
that Auburn job has been a revolving door since what? Gus.
Ooh, no, even before that. I mean, all our lives, they haven't kept a coach for a long period since Tuberville. No. You know what I mean? And they fired old boy that was defensive coordinator for Carolina. Chizik.
Yeah.
They fired him, they fired Malzahn. The question gonna be, okay.
Cadillac had it for a minute.
Who?
Cadillac had it for a minute, didn't he?
Yeah, and I thought, me personally, I would have gave Cadillac. You know what I mean? I felt like he would have made Auburn relevant in the state of Alabama again. Because you got to remember, once upon a time, Alabama was down before Nick got there, and Auburn was ruling Alabama at that point. But and this kind of ties into our third topic on college. Is the SEC and the Big Ten overrated?
Well, let me ask this question. I'm gonna pose it a different way. Do you think the portal is leveling the playing field a little bit?
I don't think the portal got anything to do with it.
I think NIL more than portal.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
I can agree with that.
I think so. I don't know. I never thought the Big Ten was rated. So fuck it over. I don't even think they rated. The SEC got two teams to me, maybe three. The Big Ten, Michigan is an underdog on the betting line this week coming to Washington. I'm not saying that they're going to lose, but I'm just saying from the betting line, they're an underdog. So the perception of the Big Ten, to me, is not that. It's more they got stations. Let me put it this way. The SEC and the Big Ten is in your face 24/7. And so they like the Cowboys for a certain reason. People, they on ABC, they on ESPN. I think they got ABC on ESPN, and then the SEC station is run by ESPN.
Yes.
Then they put the games on ABC.
Yes.
The Big Ten is in your face. Notre Dame got a channel all their own on Channel 10. Everything is channel. I don't care where I go in the world. NBC is channel 10 for me.
It's channel 10. You're from South Carolina.
So it's channel 10. So I just think they're in your face. And so the perception is they're bigger than what they are because they are oversaturated in the media market.
I agree. And I'll give you the reason why Michigan is underdog. Michigan has not won a game on the West Coast in about 20 years. Okay. The first win that they got on the West Coast was last year in the Rose Bowl against Alabama. That was the first win they had won on the West Coast in years. Okay. So that is why the betting line is what it is. Michigan typically, if they go on the other side of the Rockies, they do not do well. That's why that game is set up like that. But I watched Washington last week. This is not Washington, okay? This is not the Huskies that I'm used to, okay? They look like they're struggling.
Will Rogers is terrible. They made the second worst play call in Seattle history in the Washington State game.
I don't even understand why they went and got him. I know you needed a quarterback after Penix left, but I would have tried it. You would have did better with a true freshman, bro. Will Rogers wasn't
the only bright spot for them is that running back.
Yeah, he wasn't in that Mississippi State. As far as looking at the Big Ten, it gets everything because over here it's on Fox and it's on Peacock and NBC.
Same here.
But the biggest thing that's Ohio State has all the players. I think Penn State is a fraud.
Think so?
Franklin do this every year, bro. He gonna look good against the teams he's supposed to be. When he played Michigan and Ohio State, he gonna lose. That been since he been there. You know,
and I knew when they were a 19.5 spread against Illinois, they're never gonna cover 19.5 points.
Right, that was too much
against anybody.
Yeah, that was too much.
The Clemson spread and the Oklahoma Auburn was my parlay win for me this weekend because Auburn was actually a favorite over Oklahoma.
I don't know why.
I don't know why. I look at that and I could not believe it.
I don't know why because if Oklahoma don't do nothing else, they're gonna play defense. I mean, you know, and Auburn has no offense. I mean, they are.
I got Clemson at 18.5.
Over Florida State,
be about 20. So
you're jumping. Get all up in that because DJ Uwelelelele is not gonna play.
If it's a stop, by all you can. That's all I'm gonna say.
Look at let's go on and jump on into that because we can go on and say right now, most assuredly, that the Clemson Tigers are going to sacrifice the Florida State Seminoles on Saturday. Okay, it is going to be ugly. It is going to be ugly. Okay, this is one of them. I need to prove something to you all. Because the big game for the ACC is Cal and Miami Saturday night. So this game here is at 7. By the time this game is over with, I mean, it would not shock me if this is not a 50-something to 17. Clemson is intent on breaking their soul on this one just because.
Is Cade playing the whole game?
Is who?
Is Cade gonna play the whole game? That's all I need to know.
No, he'll be out by the third quarter. He'll be out by the third quarter.
I think it up.
Him and Maffa, they'll be sitting on the
the thing that has been concerning me, because, watching the game still trying to see, is that they're giving up too many rush yards. This is the second week in a row against inferior competition that they are letting rush yards get racked up on that. And I don't know if they're playing down to the level of competition, but they are getting some run yards. Like, there's some holes there.
I think what's hurting them is they jumping up by so big early. Because I know the whole third and fourth quarter last week, the third and fourth string played, and he let them play. And that was part of the problem, because this game really should have been like 50-something to. But
even then, Steve, when we were playing the starters, I mean, the turnover, it was in the red zone.
Right.
That's what I'm just, is that the running for the last 2 weeks, they just need to show, and also the pressure on the quarterback. Like, for this game, I thought it would be a blitzkrieg going on, and it just didn't seem to be. Now, Stanford does have some big-ass players, because that's what they get. But, they just stand there like a wall. But I thought it would be a little more pressure, on the quarterback.
Well, the thing was, and Stanford, typically the offensive linemen are always going to be.
Oh
great. So seeing them kind of hang with Clemson for a little bit wasn't a complete surprise. Just because I know how they're going to play. They play like let me see who over here plays like that. Georgia. They prime example. Georgia. Okay. They're gonna batter you. They're gonna take their shots when they have to, but I knew they should pretty easily handle them. The more concerning part, and it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing too, that Clemson does. When they get up big, Dabo will pull players too early sometimes, I think. Instead of making a true statement when he needs to, he don't want to rub nobody's face in it. Now Saturday is going to be a different question because he don't like Norvell. Norvell don't like him. It's going to be ugly just because. The other part of it is that they need to start positioning themselves because they need to be that fourth champion so they can get the bye. Because if you're number 5, you're going to have to play. Even though you get a home game, you're going to have to play in the playoffs.
At least 4. If you're going to make it,
they need to be at least 4. And really, I would say be at 4 just because more than likely you're going to get the worst team that's left over at some point. And you ain't.
So 4 is the bye, 5 is not.
4 is the bye, 5 is not.
Yeah. So who is because I was looking at this yesterday. And it's based on the rating of your conference.
Right.
So if the Mountain West is rated ahead of the ACC. Is the Mountain West champion undefeated so far? Who's leading the Mountain West?
Boise State.
Ooh, okay.
They got a loss, but they losses to Oregon.
Yes, yeah.
But Boise State, when it's all said and done, because what's going to weigh down the Mountain West,
their running back should not be in college.
No, he should be. I think he is 9th year senior anyway.
Yeah, that dude, man, he is too good to be mad. You give him any light, it's a 90-yard touchdown. It's over.
Yeah, he's a 9th year senior anyway. So I mean, I'm like, what in the world? But the thing that's going to hurt them is I don't think they're going to play a ranked team in their championship game. That's going to kind of keep them at 5. Right now,
what Utah went to the Big 12, right? Not to the Mountain
West. They went to the 12, but they lost.
Okay.
Arizona upset them last week, and now
that upset.
Honest, the thing that Kelsey brought up, Colorado is kind of sitting pretty right now, being undefeated in the conference. But I know they got, they still got to play Arizona, they still got to play Utah. The thing with them, can you keep winning with 2 players? I don't know.
Well, I mean, against UCF, I will say they found a running game against them, at least for that one game.
Yeah, but
the problem is getting ready to get cold. And see, that's where, like I tell folks, it's all fine and dandy now, but the weather changed. And I've lived in Colorado. I lived in Colorado for 8 years. Once it start and it don't stop.
And that's
the
a different
rest of those
cold.
schools, Utah, all of those, man, when the weather turns, and that's why I'm with T. I don't know when you have skill position players as your feature players and the weather is getting ready to turn, is that the best position you want to be in? Yeah.
Well, I don't think playing in, when Colorado was good when we were younger, Colorado had a running game. They had receivers and whatever, but they had a running game that kind of took the pressure off of that. And Dave, I remember that first winter you went to Colorado and you called back and talk about, man, they still go to work out here.
And I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Boy, that was funny as I don't know what. Man, they still go to work out here. I think they had like 36 inches of snow on the ground. They were still going. Like, what are they doing?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, you in a different place now, bro.
Look at that. The ice are playing in a minute. Ready to go.
Looking at the rest of their schedule, Colorado's off this week. they first really big test. Kansas State comes to town next week.
That's a test.
They got Arizona the week after that. They should beat Cincinnati. Texas Tech right now quietly is 4-1, and ain't nobody talking about them. And I'm trying to figure out what's actually going on with them, because I think the one loss they had was to Wazoo.
And Washington State will play you tough.
Yeah. And then they play Utah middle of November, and then the last, the second to last game they play Kansas. Kansas is not what they was last year, but they can put up points. But they finish up the season. Their last game was against Oklahoma State. I'm 40 and I'm a man. That's a little toss up. So Kelsey, actually, what are they, 4-1 right now?
Yeah, they'll make a bowl.
I think they'll make a bowl, but the issue is gonna be, because really, who is winning the 12 right now? I want to say, BYU.
That's right. BYU is undefeated. BYU is good too.
There's another one we hadn't talked about. They got 3 undefeateds in the conference. BYU is undefeated. Colorado's undefeated. Texas Tech, Iowa State, and Arizona, and West Virginia. I don't count West Virginia because I don't think they're gonna be able to sustain.
And I haven't seen Iowa State play. They usually have an okay team.
Iowa State beat Iowa this year, and that was by itself. That should have let you know right there, because typically, even with Iowa can't score, Iowa State doesn't beat Iowa. So I would probably say it's going to come down to to the games in November. I'm hoping everybody's schedule is set up like that. Clemson, I think Saturday takes a big step toward going to Charlotte. I think the winner of the Cal Miami game is going to meet them there. But I'm going to tell you a dark horse ain't nobody talking about. Better watch Duke. Duke came back and beat North Carolina last week, okay? Duke doesn't have to play Miami or Clemson. So you got to watch them, okay? And
who you got to watch for upset alert?
Who?
SMU will score.
SMU is quietly.
Hey, they will score. Hey, you mess around with that Olympic team say, F around and find out.
Yeah.
They will score. So you got to watch. They sneaky on you.
But SMU doesn't play Clemson. So that avoids that. But for some reason, I ain't figured this out. Cal and SMU didn't have to play Clemson, which was odd. You know, because you would think you come into the conference.
I think we got to go to Cal. We got to go to Cal, T.
Yeah,
I think we got to go to Cal because I think it's if I'm not mistaken, I think we got to go to Cal.
Hold on,
let me take a look at it. Let me look now myself and see.
Because if that's the case,
I think they are on the schedule though.
Yeah, I think
they're not. No,
they're not.
They're not.
No, they are not on the schedule.
Okay, cool.
Clemson still has
Florida, Wake Forest, Virginia,
Louisville, Virginia Tech, Pitt.
What do you think about the Louisville game?
That's the one to me. That defines.
I watched a little bit of it Saturday against Notre Dame. I thought they were. I actually picked them to beat Notre Dame. I thought they were going to go in there with a better game plan. If he goes try to throw the whole game, Clemson going to destroy him. They go to destroy him, man. I thought they would have been in a better position. There's another one. Oh, Pitt is undefeated. Nobody's talking about that either. Okay. So, but Pitt has to play Miami. Pitt has to play Duke. So it's going to work itself out. And I think Pitt plays SMU this week. So that's going to be interesting.
We don't need Louisville to lose until they play us again.
Exactly.
Just for the ranking. I just want to win under our belt.
Well, but this is the thing, D. What's helping Clemson right now? Getting thumped by Georgia don't look as bad now.
No.
You know,
no.
It don't look as bad.
No. You played the number one team in the country. I mean, and they're home. I mean, you played them.
Right.
And I won't say dominate, but we hung with them for a half easily.
Right. You don't want to look. You hate to say a loss, but now if you really want to think about it, that was a good loss now when you think about it. because you look at how much you've improved from that game. You look at actually how much Georgia. Now, if Georgia would have lost, would have got blowed out, it would have looked worse. Saturday. It would have looked a whole lot worse because you would have been like, we can't hang with Bama. But we already know we can hang with Bama. It's just, it depends on where you play. And if you play in Atlanta, you play in Georgia in Atlanta, that's not good. Clemson playing in Atlanta, period, is not a good thing, okay?
Yeah.
All the years we have lost to Georgia Tech and have been better than Georgia Tech. I mean, it is what it is. You know, Clemson don't need to play in New Orleans and don't need to play in Atlanta. Those are the two places.
Arizona's been
Arizona's been lovely for us, you know.
Yeah, the Fiesta Bowl,
Yeah. All right, let's go to the NFL. All right, so we get to our game at the end, Kelsey, because we'll talk about that. Monday night game last night, Detroit and Seattle.
That was a good game.
I liked what I saw out of the Seahawks, though. Even though they lost, I like what I see out of them. Good running game.
Playing with heart.
Geno is playing good football. Offensive line kind of let him down a little bit toward the end last night, but I like what I see out of Seattle. I think they can win the West.
Yes, I do believe that too.
I think they can win the West.
I was hesitant. I thought Arizona was going to be better than what they are.
I did too. So I thought it would be a lot better than
that has been a disappointment. I'm with you. I think Seattle will be very competitive towards winning that Western that Western Division. Yep.
Well, everybody, can we go play for the Rams? Because everybody hurt.
Yeah.
I've never seen it be this bad at this point of the year. Everybody is hurt.
And you are getting up in age, you cannot have two sore Achilles. And I don't know if I don't wish anything on anybody. Don't get me wrong, but at his age now, and what he does for a living, and two of them, and it's chronic. And what they said he went to try to do the Kobe thing, with the platelet thing. I don't know if that's a great sign.
That's your last resort if you're going to Germany. Okay,
exactly.
Yeah, that's your last resort. I wonder, and this is one of the things, Kelsey, before Dave joined us with this here, when we were talking about Ayuk, possibly going to the Steelers and whatever, and I said we didn't need him. See, he got paid, ain't doing nothing. He's a product. I feel like he's a product of Shanahan's system. Just like the only legitimate player they got on their offense is Christian McCaffrey. Debo is.
Don't think Debo not.
Debo doing the same thing he did here at Carolina, Bo. His hamstring will be tightened up on him by Thanksgiving. You already know.
Yeah, you're right.
You already know how that is, man.
Yeah.
You don't like Kittle?
No, man.
Which one?
Kittle.
Kittle.
People talk about Kittle like he's upper echelon, great tight end.
He's serviceable.
He's serviceable, but I mean, when I think of tight ends, you need to be like them two bad boys, the Ravens guy. You know what I mean? Or you need to be
Likely and Andrews. Yeah.
Or you need to be the emergence this year for us for a Fry move. You know what I mean?
Fry move. He let me down last year in fantasy, but we won't talk about that.
Well, I mean, last year, Kelsey, we ain't had no quarterback last year, bro.
And if you want to see how bad it was, flip to the other Monday night game, and you would have saw that predicament with Mason Rudolph. And it's so funny. The announcers, they were so riding his jaw, like, you shouldn't go back to
Will Levis.
Yeah, Will Levis.
No.
And then as soon as Mason settled in, he became Mason.
Right. Yeah. It is, sometimes you see fellas and you wonder how they keep a job for so long. And clearly, what were y'all doing? Because this is the thing. Malik Willis went to Green Bay, won 2 games while was hurt. While Love was hurt. Okay. So that means that's coaching. Because you said Malik couldn't play.
Yeah.
That's coaching. Same thing we demonstrating right now with Justin. The Bears couldn't coach Justin because Justin played out of his mind Sunday. Now, he made one fatal mistake, but defense let us down Sunday against the Colts. But Justin is playing. Justin brought us back in the football game, so he's playing football. Here's the thing.
Yeah,
I think we're in a bad situation league wide because everybody can't be Pat Mahomes. Okay, that's not going. Okay, not going to happen.
We got a lot of 160-yard games right now. A lot of 160-yard passing games going on.
But here's the thing: if you get a quarterback and you tailor that quarterback to what you want to do, you can be successful in the NFL. But you got to be. It comes. I'm like, I sent y'all that thing from Mike Tomlin the other day where he's talking about just coaching, man. That's the whole point. That's your job. You're supposed to be coaching.
You got to figure out what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and work on.
I think it's too many head coaches in the league that just let their teams down because they refuse to coach these fellas, man. If you can't do what you want to do, you're supposed to adjust to that and make it work. Okay, that's how you're gonna win. Okay, there's no more pure passes coming in. I don't want no pure passer, no way, because he can't do that. If he got to stand back there like a statue, that means I gotta have 2 bookend tackles that hold up.
You gotta have a nasty offensive line. You gotta have a nasty line.
Yep. So you got to be able to, especially now because your defense means you got cats that's 6'6", 295 running 4.4 40s, man. You got to have somebody to be able to get out the way, or you're gonna get somebody killed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is where I find fault with so many coaches. Why are you not adjusting to what you have? Okay. Coach offense. Yeah, I want to be able to throw the ball medium, intermediate down the field. You see, you ain't got no quarterback, bruh. Short passing game.
Hey, early prediction. Jaden, what the Commanders quarterback?
Daniels.
Right now, early take. Dude is a beast.
Yes,
he has the long ball. He can run. For this year, now I don't know, but this year he's running away with offensive rookie of the year to me.
And low key, Watson is leading the conference.
Right.
Well, not low key. They're number 1 in the conference.
Look here. Here's the thing, and what I've seen
because we barely could, like when the Bucs played him. If it wasn't just being his second game ever in the NFL, man, he gave us fits. That dude is, like I said, bookmark. Rookie of the year.
He's only going to get better. Yeah.
He is ready. And the thing about it is, and he in the perfect situation because, one, didn't nobody expect nothing out of the Commanders because we already knew what they were in the first place. Okay? You're in a bad division. Kelsey, I know everybody love because y'all the glamour division and whatever. Y'all in a bad
I agree with you because everybody figured the Eagles out. Dallas going Dallas. And the Giants just...
Oh, no. Only reason the Giants don't get talked about is because the Panthers are so bad. But the Giants are. I honestly.
Hold up now.
I was in that. No, Kelsey. I'm telling you, I was in the house.
Jacksonville too now.
We're gonna get on them too because I got problem with them too.
Who?
With Jacksonville.
Oh yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you this here.
Trevor.
Now I was in the house Sunday watching the Bengals and the Panthers. The Panthers don't have anything. Let's just make this clear, okay? But what they do have is serviceable enough where you should win 3-4 football games, okay? Because they wasn't terrible. They could have made some plays Sunday and beat. The Bengals are terrible. I'm just gonna go on and say
the Bengals are bad. Yeah,
the Bengals are bad. Okay, the Bengals should have lost.
Only game they actually played good was when they played
the Chiefs,
Kansas City. That's the only game.
But the Bengals are bad because let me tell you why. Jamar Chase made one play Sunday. One play. Now, granted, it was a spectacular play. He caught the ball over the middle, broke a tackle, went down the line. But T. Higgins is what makes the offense go because T had 7 catches quick, okay? Because everybody is bracketing Jamar Chase, okay? Even the Panthers' pitiful defense was bracketing Jamar Chase, okay? I saw Joe Burrow throw an ugly interception that he had no business throwing. Because I'm like, why is you even throwing the football? He threw it in the middle of the field, was nobody there. Nobody. Okay? The pressure is starting to get to it because there was no reason for him to throw that football because it was simulated pressure that he thought, I need to get rid of this ball. So the hit's starting to take effect on him. They are not
good. Been used to that.
They are not good though.
I hadn't followed. What the running game looking like? They have
terrible.
Okay. That answers it then.
Look here. By the end of October, you're gonna see if I'm the Panthers and T. Higgins wants to come home, I do whatever needs to be done to get T to Carolina. Whatever needs to be done. By the time trade come, well, I know he on 1 year deal. Bengals can't afford him next year. Let T come. He would be a great compliment. Now, one of the things the Panthers gonna have to do, Bryce Young is not there. That's not gonna work. You got to find a quarterback somewhere. Now, where you gonna find him, I don't know. If you could put stem cells in Cam, get him back to 2015 Cam, you'd be in a great situation.
But why isn't Bryce working? Is it the coaching? He's just not making the transition. He doesn't have the right coaching.
He shell shocked, bro. He shell shocked.
I can't tell because I don't. Yeah, the team is so bad.
He shell shocked.
I just think for him, it's time to start over and it's
somewhere else.
It's bad.
I think he's lost all nerve and confidence because if you were good in high school and then you go to Alabama and you were still good and you come to a team like the Panthers, you're gonna struggle. Okay. Yeah. And
so let me ask this question: If he was in, I guess since Tua's out, if he had Miami, how would he look?
He'd be leading the league right now if he was in Miami.
Oh, that's where he need to get to. I've been telling you that like since we've been talking. He
would lead the league right now if he was in Miami. Kelsey, he doesn't have anything. That's
the thing.
I saw it. You know, it's one thing watching on TV, but sometimes you just need to be there.
Hey, when you said that picture, was that the start of the game? Was that?
I was at the start of the game. They actually had a decent crowd. They had they actually had about 68,000. So they had a decent crowd. Okay. We got there early and I took the picture. But my thing is, what I see is that if they move him, and I would be smart, you know, it would be smart to move him because you could probably get another year out of Andy Dalton with no problem. Okay.
Yeah.
I think he got put in a bad situation and it's not going to help him. It doesn't help that CJ Stroud is playing out of his mind, but you got to look at what CJ Stroud has around him too.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah, because Tank Dell and Nico Collins, bro, ain't nobody even talking about Stephon Diggs because Tank Dell and Nico Collins is.
Well, Nico's the one. Nico's the ex there. So I mean, it is what it is.
Right. He a mutant, bro. Because shoot, you can't be that big, and that fast, bro, and doing stuff like that, man.
And he got a run game too.
That's just like last night. DK Metcalf. Oh my God, bro.
Yeah.
Last night. Oh my God.
Hey, the sassy baller got speed.
Right, boy. Yeah. He got a little sass to him now.
Yeah.
But that rascal is a beast, boy. Oh Lord, they need to get him out of Seattle. Somebody. Lord, I mean, he can take over a game by himself.
Yeah.
You know, because I saw.
But he also can take himself out of a game. Because
he did that last night.
He will talk. He get to talking and he talk too much. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But the other problem I see, now you know the Raiders said today that they were talking about they're gonna let Devontae Adams seek a trade. Now, common sense, everybody gonna say, well, he need to go to the Jets. No, he don't.
No.
Because whether you realize it or not, Aaron Rodgers was part of his problem in Green Bay.
You know, Devontae Adams actually would be good for Pittsburgh. When I saw that the other, when they were talking about that, and just thinking about how the team is made, he is actually a great fit for the way, for Pittsburgh.
Devontae could come in there, automatically become a leader. That's number one. Number two, he would help. Pickens already showing out, and he ain't got no help other than Friday.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So if you give him Devontae Adams, who's not a diva wide receiver, he's not a diva. Put Devontae on one side, George on one side, and you got Freiermuth, that automatically opens up the running game. Because we got to look at it from the standpoint. Now, me personally, I feel like we can beat the Ravens as constituted right now because we know how to beat the Ravens. But It's not about winning the division. It's about going farther in the playoff. And we already know I got to see that little boy in Kansas City at some point. And that little boy in Kansas City give everybody fits, okay? Because you can't do nothing with him. He's special.
And he playing bad right now, and they still winning.
Bruh, he's special, man.
I know, man. Nothing they do right now, I don't even for them.
He's special, man.
Been at the Super Bowl. They didn't got to that point. Ain't nothing they do right now even better than me.
Yeah. Like Eli Manning's little brother, because he had that confused look on his face, but he would light you up.
Bro, you know, the thing about him, and I don't know if it's just, is it Andy Reid or is it just in him per se?
Combination of both.
You can't shake him up, man.
Yeah,
you can't.
No. You got an offense that's just, as we know, has been the stuff since Andy put it together, and now, like I said, he doesn't get rattled. He's got his time in the league now. He is just
think about it though. They have no running game right now because Pachenko's hurt, and they're really not going to Travis Kelce.
And Rice is now hurt. So,
but even with
matter to me.
With Rice going down, I'm not even like, oh well, I ain't worried about it. I'm already. That's why I say if the Raiders are gonna let Devontae Adams go, and if I am the Steelers, you have a defense that can play okay, but you're gonna have to score to beat the Chiefs. Okay, you gotta have this, man. You gotta have this because one thing we already know, and I'll say this here, and everybody kissing the Ravens behind because of what they did to Buffalo Sunday. Let me tell you something. The Ravens ain't good, y'all. The Ravens dominated Buffalo because Buffalo defense is terrible.
I put it like this. We got our behinds handed us by the Saints, but if we had maybe one or two plays, we probably could have beat the Ravens.
Bro,
man,
y'all could have beat the Ravens. Y'all was coming back.
If would have went on about 5 or 10 minutes more, y'all probably.
Yeah, we had them beat.
You know how you have that trajectory of y'all probably would have won that game.
Well, but see, here's the thing. It took the Ravens. It took it. Now, King Henry is King Henry. I take nothing from him. Okay, have mad respect for him. But this is the thing. You bust out the first play of the game, 87 yards. That's because Buffalo don't have a defensive line. Buffalo don't have linebackers. Okay?
No, you're right.
You won't be running 87 yards against the Steelers. We already know that. It's not going to happen. Okay? You're not going to run 87 yards against Cleveland. Because regardless of what you think about Cleveland as a football team, Cleveland still got dogs on defense.
They do. Yeah.
But I'm wondering, though, by the time that happened, is you can be a dog, but just you got the shit around you that just start coming down. That would happen.
The mental space.
Yeah, I don't know if they mentally get beat down like that every damn year.
Every game.
Since Bernie Kosar. I mean, it just, man, I just think it take a toll on you, man.
But this is the thing, though, man.
I know they say
should they be that bad?
But they humans too, though.
But should they be that bad, though? Honestly.
It's the offense. It's the offense. The offensive line is killing them.
A loss is a loss, though, and it just...
That's true.
It just start breaking you down. You know, like for instance, we ain't got to Dallas or none of them yet. But if I was to take away like the playoff game from last year, y'all won the first game, and then the rest of the games, y'all defense put you out of games before the game can even get started. Like you look at some of them scores, 25 to nothing, and then you expect to come back and then win the game. And almost
no business losing to the Giants.
But yeah, you just get blitzed enough. I just think it start weighing down on you.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is this here. It's an organizational problem. Some things are coaching problems. Some things are organizational problems. And Cleveland
is organizational.
Cleveland's problem has always been their organization.
Okay? Their owners.
And
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's always been that problem too. Your stable franchises in the league right now are the ones we always talk about because they're always there. You don't have to worry about them, and the thing about it is, eventually I think you're going to see San Diego move into that echelon because Harbaugh is not going to allow the stuff that typically takes them out, because they are one of the best teams with the best talent, but they couldn't win games because they didn't have a coach.
Remember, Carson Palmer had to retire from Cincinnati and then come back to play. It was that Cincinnati was that bad. He just said, "I'm gonna retire, wait out." What was it, the 2-year waiting period, and then come back? That's how bad it gets in Cincinnati and them Cleveland teams, man.
Well, and then I'm gonna be honest with you. Playing the Ravens and the Steelers every year don't help that situation, bro. Because the Ravens and the Steelers really they treat Cleveland and Cincinnati like little brother. They really do. Because they don't like them two, but they respect each other, so they try to kill each other. You know, and
but
then
you Cincinnati does have pedigree. They don't win, but they go to the Super Bowl every now and then.
Yeah,
Cleveland is just a beat down. It's just beat. I mean, besides LeBron, the thing is just beat down, man. I don't know what the hell to say about the Browns, man. It's not. Yeah.
Well, let's look at it
even
like
with the Deshaun Watson thing, right? On the real, I don't know what went or what. But ain't it only Cleveland could be in this situation with somebody with something like that? I mean, does it even shock you that it's Cleveland that got this? No, it don't. It don't, people, man.
And look here, I advocated myself because I wanted Deshaun to come to Pittsburgh because I felt like Tomlin could handle Deshaun and not have this problem. That's what I truly felt like. I think Deshaun's biggest problem has been nobody's telling him about himself. He ain't got nobody to jump in his stuff, man. That's been his problem. Okay, because really, based on talent, he's the best quarterback in the North. Based on talent, people gonna sit there and say Joe Burrow. No, Deshaun, before all this mess came out, Deshaun and Pat Mahomes was 1-1.
1-1, yep.
1-1. That's why everybody wanted him because from a talent standpoint, he was the only person that could stand up to him. Remember, he had him down 24-0 until his defense collapsed on him. Okay?
Yeah.
Down 24-0. So
the missing years in the league, man. Like I said, the only person I've ever seen do it and kind of come back was Vic. If you're quarterback,
he's actually better when he came back.
I gotta also say Carson Palmer because he went to a Super Bowl and lost, right? Didn't Arizona go to Super Bowl and they lost?
But that was Kurt Warner.
Yeah,
that was Kurt Warner.
That was Kurt. Yeah.
He got to the NFC Championship game.
He got to the NFC Championship game, lost to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. But besides that, man, you can't not play quarterback for years.
And
not come back and play.
But this is the thing. All of this is Deshaun on doing though, bro.
Oh yeah,
don't do it. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating to say what he did was right or wrong because I don't know. But my thing is this here, because I know craziness gonna happen. I know if we were in the league together, some craziness is gonna happen. Okay, whether one of y'all was there because I'm look here, the homeboys is coming to the crib. Y'all already know some stuff gonna happen. Okay, but this is the thing. You can't mess with your money, bro. And what you were doing was putting yourself in a delicate situation. And see, the thing was, you were in a place where, from everything I'm hearing right now, Houston is a smorgasbord right now. You know what I'm saying? So you put yourself in a bad situation, okay? Because you don't hear the same stuff going on. Think about some of the other cities in the league. You don't hear this going on in Miami.
No.
You don't hear this going on in Atlanta.
No.
Now, it used to go on in Dallas.
But you don't. I will say this. In defense, Michael Irvin said he was trying to do the right thing the wrong way. And when he got in trouble, what did he do? He went back to the field, and he stayed on that field, and he made sure he got his money right. Because, I mean, he was in court, but when he was out, he wasn't in court. He was on that football field. Sean don't have that in him.
Kelsey, Michael Irvin went to court.
That's because he's not doing a line of coke.
Watch this. But Dave,
I mean, he ain't taking the tried and true LT method.
But this is the thing.
Your heart beating, your adrenaline go a little faster if you too hit a line of coke before you start a football game. PSA is over. Go ahead.
Well, look at when you go to court in June in Dallas, Texas, in a mink coat
with a fur coat. Yeah.
You already know what's up, bro. His name is Silky.
Yeah.
That's what that was. Because look here, you got to be high as a kite to go in there with a mink coat on in 100-degree weather in Dallas, Texas. Come on, man.
But what Jay-Z asked on Big Pimpin', he asked what's the name? Why your man got on this pink this mink coat? Pimp C said, cause TV ain't got no temperature.
It don't. And I will say this here. It is our iconic scene from that video because of the fact, number one,
Dan Bermuda.
full white mink coat. Glory to land dancing on your arm. I can't argue with the man.
People do not realize how much Pimp C did not want to do that song. Bun had to drag his ass to do that because he was like, we got this lot, we got money. Because people don't realize Slim Thug and them, they rich. You might think they are rich as all, but let's not do this in podcast. Go ahead. Houston clubs, ass out. Go ahead, T.
Well, again, like I say, it's you can't do this here and think because you going home because you're gonna be head coach at Pickens High School or Daniel High School in South Carolina, because you ain't gonna have no job next year, and you're gonna have $240 million in the bank. Okay, because
he can actually disappear if you want.
And his boy gonna be right there with him, Trevor Lawrence. They both gonna be holding the clipboard. They both gonna be working for the media relations department of the Clemson University.
Now that you bring that up,
department. That's where they gonna be,
bruh. Is it coaching? Is it truly coaching in Jacksonville?
No, because you got to think about it. The coach there, he did coach Nick Folk to the championship to Super Bowl win.
But he was also fired after the Super Bowl too.
Yeah, he was. But he's a quarterback coach, so they should be able to relate.
You know what?
I mean,
it's Jackson. See, this is my thing with certain franchises and organizations. Again, do you expect any different from the Jaguars? I mean, until you break that, it is hard to not see certain things. You got to break that for it to be. And I'm telling you, I'm speaking to this as a fan of one of the worst franchise records in the history of football. But you still got it. I mean, the Bucs have broken that from time to time. You got to break it. And is it shocking this is happening in Jacksonville? I mean, really, Jacksonville to me. They were at the cusp with Fournette and Jalen Ramsey. They couldn't get over the door. They had that drama. Then they start this. With Jacksonville, outside of what was the dude who first coached them and they got to they were at the AFC. There you go, Coughlin.
Yeah,
I don't know if he had such a thing around him that he could overcome that. I mean, I know people ain't like Coughlin,
but he was a decent team back then, though.
Yeah, and he was a winner. I mean, he went to the Giants and won 2 Super Bowls, right? So, I mean, Coughlin is a winner. And he was able to kind of but anybody else, you got to get somebody that can kind of overcome that stink.
But is Coughlin still there? Is he not
he is Coughlin
still alive.
No. He left. He's at the Raiders. He's a consultant for the Raiders because he's helping Antonio Pierce. Yeah.
Coughlin is still in
it. He's a consultant. He's not coaching. He's a consultant.
I don't mean
when did he leave Jacksonville?
My boys were talking about, is Schottenheimer still in the league?
Which one?
Marty's
dead.
Okay, got you now. All right, now
his son is still in the league because his son is somebody offensive coordinator. I can't remember who.
Yes,
but his son is somebody's offensive coordinator.
Terry Schottenheimer is his name, right?
Is
it Terry? I actually think he was the Bucs offensive
coordinator. Brian Schottenheimer is
Brian Schottenheimer. I think he actually was the Bucs coordinator for a year.
I think he did take over after y'all got to the Leftwich.
Exactly. Yes.
And that might be where he at. Oh, y'all got the new?
No, we got a new dude now. He's 29.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
the league is young now.
Well, I'm gonna say this about the Jaguars, and this ain't got nothing to do with football. It just the franchise, because Shad Khan also owns, I want to say, Manchester United.
Mm-hmm. No, that's the Glazers. He owns the other one. I see
Liverpool.
Yes,
Liverpool. One of them. I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah.
But his son also, Tony Khan, also owns AEW Wrestling.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And they run. You can tell he owns AEW Wrestling because it's not ran like Triple H and them is running the WWE. So that's a problem to itself. Then you also have a fundamental problem. You're in Jacksonville, Florida. There's a lot of cities in the state of Florida. Jacksonville ain't one of them I want to be in. Okay. That already never understood why Jacksonville got that franchise, because really you didn't need it, because if you actually go to Florida, you're either a Bucs fan or a Dolphins fan. You're not.
And the Hurricanes is after that, or right there before the Bucs. Matter of fact, let's take the Bucs out of it. And the Dolphins. It's the Hurricanes first.
It's the Canes. It's the Canes and the Seminoles. The Canes and the Seminoles. Yeah. But when you
what's that podcast I watch? They Channing Crowder used to say, man, he used to hang out with the Miami Hurricanes players so he can get into the clubs, because Miami was running things. The U was running things back.
And see that, that's another show for itself, because the U actually need to move back down to Miami Gardens, because they don't need to be in Fort Lauderdale playing, because they're about 45 minutes away from campus. And I'm gonna be honest, Hard Rock is just sitting out there in the swamp by itself.
And it's hard, man. Them kind of spots.
Ain't nothing out there but the casino, bro. That's the only thing out there. The casino and the stadium. That's it.
And if you ain't winning, it's hard to be like Arizona, and because there's so much to do outside. That you ain't in California. That's why people don't understand the Rams go for broke every year, because you're in a Dodgers Lakers town. The only way you're gonna keep eyes on you, and they couldn't keep a franchise the first time. Because I told you, every time the Rams play, it seems if they're not winning, they're always outnumbered by the other team.
Well, the other Sunday when the 49ers was there, you thought that was a home game.
Yeah.
Well,
that's why they got to go for broke, because they got to keep some attention on them.
But again, Jacksonville has no business with a franchise. And then, but
I don't understand why though. If you look at it from a real estate standpoint, that's the largest city, square miles wise. So, I mean, it makes sense from that standpoint, but you're right. The market is there for that.
The market ain't there. And see, the thing is, this is one thing that the NFL is trying to avoid. They needed to go back to Los Angeles just because the people of Los Angeles was getting over on them, because they was getting every game that they wanted. So they didn't want it. And that was your number 2 market. So they had to go back to Los Angeles. But Jacksonville needs to move. Now, they talking about building this brand new stadium in conjunction with the Gator Bowl, because really that stadium is only made for one weekend out of the year, and that's for the cocktail party with Georgia, Florida. Okay, they're gonna do all this investment in that, and really you're gonna have that game in the Gator Bowl. That's it. Because really, you think about it, they lose a home game every year because they go over and play in London every year, which is ridiculous. I wish the NFL would stop. They got the London game this week with the Jets and the Vikings. This game should have been played in Minneapolis. The Jets gonna lose anyway. Why you gonna fly 5,000 miles and get your butt whooped? I mean, it is what it is. But see, they look at it from a money-making standpoint. Nobody likes this. Now, granted, the only good thing for us is football gonna be on at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's the only thing.
Well, football on 9 o'clock in the morning anyway for me. So,
for you,
10 o'clock. So I mean, that does nothing but make it 7 o'clock in the morning. And I definitely ain't watching Minnesota and damn.
Hey man, you got to watch Sam Darnold, man. We might not ever see this again,
bruh. But you know what? That goes back to what we said. Really coaching. That goes back to what we said. Coaching. Okay.
Exactly.
Because Sam Darnold is playing out of his mind right now. Okay. But he always had the talent. The thing was, even that year he was in Carolina, Sam Darnold played pretty good. He played pretty good. They just couldn't get over the hump, and then they fired Woods. But that, Panthers, we already know the Panthers is.
I need to see him go to Chicago and Green Bay when it turned cold. if he could continue this and Sam Darnold, because matter of fact, Andy Dalton and Sam Darnold are the same people to me anyway.
Well,
if he holds this through, one, it ain't good for the NFL because that means the state of quarterback play has just gone to real shit at this point. And two,
but it has anyway, though.
Yeah, but man, it is certain people. I don't know if you got to rally together to make sure they don't succeed. Sam Darnold is one of them dudes to me that we got to make, because it gets you into that mediocre period to me where I don't know. You can have mediocre periods in the league where it's just you get like right now, you're in a mediocre bunch and you got two teams or one team that's just the shit. Well, because really after Kansas City, it's a toss-up. I mean, it is a literal toss-up in the league. Yeah, I mean, and when you start the year, the last 4 or 5 years, and probably next 2 years, you're going to pencil in Kansas City. You'll see, of course, Pittsburgh is always competitive. Dallas will be on the news, but really, we are in
pretty much.
I mean, I'm just saying we are in a rut of really kind of mediocre play, like the NBA was before this next crop of talent that came along with Ant-Man in them, where it just was like, Sebastian Telfair, all of them. I mean,
I think some of it comes from we elevate players too quickly. And say that they're great, and when they really, really are not. Teams that are your stable franchises, and we just take who's on top right now. The Chiefs have been a stable franchise since Andy Reid's been there. The Steelers
since the league started. Yeah.
The Steelers and the Ravens are always going to be stable franchises because of what they are. The Patriots are on the rebuild. The Dolphins have been stank since Don Shula retired, man. I mean, honestly, for me, I like it better. Man. I like it better when Miami is good. I like it better when the Raiders are good. You know what I mean? Because to me, that's AFC football. The Steelers, the Ravens, the Raiders, the Dolphins. I don't like seeing Kansas City there, because when we were growing up, remember, Kansas City was a terrible franchise when we were growing up because it was the Raiders in Denver in the West back then. San Diego has always been middle of the road.
That's Philadelphia fault because they got rid of Andy Reid, and he went to the Chiefs.
And then now
had him out of there.
Now, and see, we got big games this week in both conferences, because starting Thursday night, you got the 3-1 Bucs.
Yes, sir.
Going against the 2-2 Falcons with first place on the line.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask this question too now, because I know Kirk Cousins gonna do Kirk Cousins things, but is it a positive sign that they were able to win that game against the Saints with no offensive touchdowns? The defense sold out.
Yep. That means they developing.
Yep.
Should the league be worried, or should the league be on notice? Kirk gonna do what Kirk do.
Wait a minute. The good notice for what?
The good thing about that is Vaya came back last week, and that shut all that run game stuff that that happened the week before kind of down. So Bijou, and he can hit the outside, as we know, but the clog in the middle is back. And so hopefully just being able to hold that down enough to get them into a number of third and long situations and put it on Kirk Cousins that have to win the game is what I'm hoping that they do here. Also, I think the Bucs have found a little. I love them little. What them little back in the day? Them third down specialists.
Third down back.
Lionel James.
Who y'all got?
Remember Lionel Train James from San Diego and all that. This dude, Bucky Irvin from the Oregon Ducks that the Bucs have. This cat is turning into must-see TV. I mean, he just, and out of the pile, he just gets 6-7 yards, just doing this little shaky thing. And I'm liking what I'm seeing there. It's going to be, if we can contain Bijou, don't let him hit that outside and put Kirk Cousins to make him make the decision as much as possible. And then we'll see what's up. If they win, they put themselves 2 games ahead and can kind of have a little cushion because the schedule still is that schedule. Like, Dallas, I'm sorry, because we got to go play the Ravens. We got to play Kansas City. I mean, the Bucs have a hard schedule. So these wins, you got to gobble up, man, because that Denver loss hurt. Yep.
But Kelsey, to answer your question, the league need Atlanta good because I'm going to tell you why. When the Falcons are good, people take notice. Atlanta's a happening spot. Atlanta's a happening spot. The Falcons are good.
I just need Raheem Morris to get some respect. I think if he can coach his team to the playoff win or to the playoff,
coached us to 10-6.
If he can get them,
he got fired.
Yeah.
He actually got fired after because they wanted to go after the sexy. That was Greg Schiano. Yeah, Greg Schiano, right?
Yeah.
Who's now back at Rutgers.
Who's back at Rutgers? Yeah. He shouldn't have never got fired.
He should have never got fired from the Bucs.
Shouldn't have never got fired from Tampa. And actually, now I think the Falcons. This game is pivotal just from the standpoint of who takes first for the time being. I think both of them gonna make the playoffs, but if the Falcons play like they played Sunday defensively, this is gonna be a good game Thursday night. You know,
but for the past few years they've had a good defense. They've just been on the field too long. Even during the Matt Ryan era.
Yeah, because they ain't had
going or he's going to 3 and out.
Desmond Ritter, Kelsey. Desmond Ritter, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. But you can let your grandson play.
Yeah. I mean, even the defense stayed on the field. I mean, too long.
You could let your grandson play with, Desmond Ritter was that bad, bro.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Jets, Vikings Sunday morning. I think the Vikings going to run through the Jets. I think the Jets are on a downward trajectory.
I think that they were second guessing having going after Rodgers.
When Aaron Rodgers said, "I'm running for vice president, a position you get picked for," I knew I wasn't all laying his head.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers hadn't been good in a long time yet. Long time. All right. The big game in the AFC North this week is Ravens-Bengals.
You mean the North or the game of the week? Wait, what we doing?
No.
Okay,
in the North.
North Ravens and
in that conference, got to be.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Bengals play like they played Sunday, the Ravens will embarrass them.
Oh, the Ravens will embarrass them. Yes.
The Ravens will embarrass them. Big game in the South. Colts Jags.
Will the Jags get their first win?
Jags need to win, man, because let me tell you, if Anthony Richardson doesn't play at now I can say this because Flacco just beat us, but Flacco got thrown into the game. So if you got a week prepared for Flacco, you can beat Flacco, okay?
Yeah.
If the Jags
gonna be Flax in the end. Yeah.
If the Jags don't win this game, that puts them first in line to get the number 1 pick. And what do you do with that number 1 pick? Because that's
not going after a quarterback. They already paid. They paid too much money for Trevor. They're not going to give up on that.
I'm just saying.
Because
you know if they pick first, there's a lot of changes coming.
Yeah.
So that's a coach. That's a coach and the number 1 pick. All right. Dolphins Patriots is Sunday in Foxborough.
That's a good game.
Tua will be back. I'm looking for Tua to be back in 2 weeks, though.
I hope not.
Bruh, they say he's symptom free.
He's gonna be symptom free at a certain, but
I'm just saying. Look here, Kelsey, when he flew to Seattle the other week, I kind of felt like he was okay because if you had a concussion, they try to tell you don't get on the plane.
Don't fly. Yeah.
Don't fly. So I knew when he went to Seattle, he coming back. It just he on IR. He got to spend these 4 games on IR, but he coming back.
Well, he coming back after the 4.
If you watch that slop last night, they need him back, bro.
They look say like what my man said on Biker Boys. You better learn how to duck or throw that ball away.
Do something, bro. Look at.
But the way he gets slung down, though, man, that one I saw the way old boy threw him, man. That was
because he your size, D. He is your size. That is part of the problem. Okay. Browns play the Commanders. I think we kind of consensus Commanders ought to destroy the Browns. But this may be a game. This may be a game. The Browns rise up. You know how they do. This is one of them games. But if the Commanders play like they played the last couple of weeks, this might be ugly.
Yeah.
We got a good one. Bills Texans.
It's not gonna be good.
I think the Texans gonna dominate Buffalo, Bo.
Yeah, that's not gonna be a good game.
Yeah.
I mean, on paper it's a good game, but I think the Texans gonna dominate. The Panthers go to Chicago to play the Bears.
Panthers gonna win that. Panthers gonna win that game.
I think so too. Upset alert.
Yeah, we know football. Panthers gonna win that game.
Upset alert. Yep.
Now I'm gonna tell you one thing I did see out of them, because Adam Thielen was hurt. That put Leggett had an outstanding game Sunday. Finally,
South Carolina.
Yeah, he had an outstanding game Sunday.
Yep.
And but one thing now, the reason why the Panthers should have won that game, Deontay Johnson did Deontay Johnson things. That Russell can't catch a cold if you put his ass in the freezer.
Yeah, I swear.
Right now, bro. He will drop a football in a heartbeat. He dropped 2 show passes, and I ain't talking about tight coverage. In his hand,
wide open
in his hand, bro. Yeah. He dropped 2 of. If they play halfway decent, they should win. But I'm not picking them just because I know. Panthers defense is suspect, and they lost Shaq Thompson on Sunday to a torn Achilles.
He out for the season.
So he out for the season. So they.
But Chicago offense is suspect.
Well, but this might be a shootout.
I think Caleb will do the game. The game-winning turnover for the Carolina Panthers. He'll throw the game, pick 6, just like the Oklahoma game. That's what I'm predicting.
Okay. All right. Then the 4:00 games, we got Raiders Broncos. This in Denver. This could if the Raiders lose. Defense. If the Raiders lose, well, is it really the Broncos defense though? Because they were playing the Jets, man.
Yeah, but how many yards?
Like 62 yards. Last time
they had 70 yards of total offense, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How you win a football game like that? But that's why I say
because you got on the other side, you got what Brees Hall had. How many carries for? What
he had 10 carries for 4 yards. He had 4/10 of a yard. Bruh.
Yeah.
How you do that? You can fall forward and get a yard.
Yeah.
But you are playing for the Jets. So, okay.
Yeah. And Mike Williams hurt for the Jets. Mike Williams. He's with the Jets.
No, he playing. Bruh. Jets defense.
You got Garrett on one side and you got Mike Williams on the other side. Aaron can't find him.
Ain't got time.
Again. It's
Aaron Rodgers. Okay. The
Mark Gastineau is not walking through that door. Klecko is not walking through that. Boomer.
He said Gastineau and Klecko is not.
They are not walking through that.
Oh my God! He went back to 1981.
Way back.
He went back. They are not walking through that door, man.
Watch here. Wesley Walker and Freeman McNeil ain't walking through the door.
None of them. No.
Oh man. Play fair, dog. Play fair.
Boomer ain't coming. None of them ain't coming.
Name is none of them.
They are the Jets.
Not even Keyshawn.
The Jets is supposed to happen to the Jets.
They might be franchise back there.
All right, we got the Cardinals and the Niners, which the Niners should win.
I got Niners because I've been picking the Cardinals too much. Yeah.
But my concern with this is this, okay? Everybody on the 49ers offense is hurt, okay?
Yeah.
And look, the little midget can.
Yeah, they can score.
The little midget can score.
The Rams came back and beat San Francisco, didn't they?
Yeah, because
the one game the Rams did win.
Yeah, and he ain't had nobody because everybody was hurt. He has absolutely nobody. So I mean, I'm a little worried about that one because this is a game the 49ers should win, but this is a game the 49ers will lose. So you know,
who out for them on offense? Ayuk? No,
Ayuk is there, but you might well say he out.
McCaffrey.
Debo and McCaffrey, right?
Debo is questionable.
He ain't playing. If he ever questionable, he ain't playing.
Yeah.
McCaffrey's out. Kittle is out.
Arizona's gonna mess around with that game. Yeah, Arizona might
win.
That's
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Marvin Harrison gonna have a field day.
Yep. He might. He just might. The Packers play the Rams. This shouldn't even be cute. Jordan Love made his comeback last week.
Almost came back and beat the Vikings.
Almost came back and beat the Vikings. He had a bad game, but coming off injury, I'm not going to really say a whole lot. The Packers are still my team. I say that's going to win the NFC until they play Minnesota. Well, play Minnesota on an even situation. Mm-hmm. They ought to beat the Rams, though. That shouldn't even be a problem. Dave, the G-men are going out there with y'all this week in Seattle. Gino and them ought to spank them.
Yeah, they should spank them, yeah.
That shouldn't even be a thing. And then the big game Sunday night, we only get it once every 4 years. First time. I didn't realize this is the first time we've played y'all, Kelsey, at night in 20 years. You know, most of the time this is the 4:30 game or 1 o'clock game. Mm-hmm. You know, so big being in Pittsburgh for this game. I think we're going to give y'all a whole lot of problems. I like the way Justin is playing. I hated the defense stunk up the first half last week, but I was impressed to see him make a comeback, even though we didn't finish it off. Y'all going to be without DeMarcus Lawrence and maybe Micah Parsons.
That might be a good thing.
I want to see y'all. I want to see y'all get. I want to see us run the football like we should. If we can't run against y'all, it's gonna get harder.
Let me see if I can do this right. Let me see if I got this right. All right, let me get a little comic relief. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. You heard it here first, people. Dallas will beat Pittsburgh on Sunday night. That's all I'm gonna say.
So fill me in. Dallas is it in Pittsburgh or at Jerry?
Is at Pittsburgh.
At Pittsburgh.
Dallas will win.
They can't win what the weather's supposed to look like, because when you play at Pittsburgh,
it's Sunday night. Right now, the weather's supposed to be decent.
Decent, yeah.
But you know how things change.
Yeah.
Right now, the weather's supposed to be decent. I see TJ Watt having a field day.
That's the thing.
With y'all new left tackle.
Hey,
I'm gonna say it like this, and it ain't got nothing to do with football. Dak is Tony Romo's little brother. He gonna mess around and win a game he's not supposed to win.
Y'all did that last week. Y'all did that last week.
Who?
Y'all beat the Giants. Yeah, because y'all shouldn't be. Bro, y'all stunk, man. Y'all stunk.
We did, but we didn't give up a touchdown. That's a win.
Y'all 3-1, and what are y'all? Y'all?
No, we 2-2.
Yeah. Let's see.
We should have been 1-3, honestly, but I think we're gonna win this game. It's gonna turn around.
And plus, y'all can absorb another loss because the NFC East. I mean, it really. What is it?
Yeah, well, Philly's all.
And what is Baltimore? Who's closest to y'all, T? Well,
Baltimore. Baltimore 2-2.
Baltimore's 2-2. Yeah.
Yeah, Baltimore 2-2. Because if the Bengals lose, that put the Bengals farther out. So they playing the Ravens this week. So I ain't. We don't, and see the hurtful thing for us is we don't play none of them until after Thanksgiving, which is the dumbest thing.
That's why I think. So here's my thing, being impartial between the two. I just think because it's in, and they have to win. Y'all don't have to win. Because Pittsburgh knows they have to win to stay ahead of the Ravens.
I would be more
on the Ravens, but you guys are in a race for a record. To win NFC East, 9-7, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think you gotta be too good. You might even do a Seattle.
Washington already got that. Washington got that. we gonna go ahead and call it.
You gonna give Washington the division already?
No, I don't think you know why, Count, because he's still a rookie quarterback and he's gonna make mistakes.
Well, I don't
think he's ready for he ain't Marino. He ain't ready for I don't know if he's ready for that yet.
Well, he hadn't taken a big hit yet. I'll put it that way.
Well,
exactly.
I put it like this here: if he get them to the end of September, well, the first game, and he 3-1, they got the division. They got the division.
I just think this is I know Pittsburgh has to continue to win and keep pace.
It's two things with the Steelers because of the fact if we first of all, the division is going to be tough, but you got to look at the big picture. You don't want to play the Chiefs prior to the championship game.
Right.
So you gotta win the division and be at least the 2 seed. And you don't want that. You don't want to get them early. I would rather get them late. And then we still got to play them anyway in December. If y'all look up our last 8 games, it is the most ridiculous schedule you ever was.
And one thing I saw too, Kel, that's concerning me is CeeDee Lamb running the ball. Like, as a line running the backfield. I don't know how
we don't have a running back.
You know why?
To me, that means he ran out.
Because
that's a concern, because it's like we are so desperate to get some sort of electricity. We're going to line up the wide receiver. So that's concern. Yeah, that's just concerning me that I'm seeing this more than I should. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to put it like this. I think, I know you're saying Pittsburgh needs this win. I think Dallas needs this win from a moral perspective more than anything, because right now, if you look at them, either from the second game, Cleveland, I ain't even worried about that. Cleveland is Cleveland. They let the Giants beat them. But from the second game and the third game with the Saints and the Ravens, you saw a different demeanor in Dallas from the start of their game to pretty much the end, the last half of the Ravens game. They kind of woke up a little bit, but the Saints game, lackluster tackling. On offense, I don't know what in the world was going on. It's almost like Mike McCarthy has lost the team already. I don't know if it was because Quinn left, whatever it is, Zimmer. I don't know what's going on, but that's
it's your owner.
It's what you expect. We know that. Dallas. I put it like pretty much. And they lost the team. I mean, who was the guy that left? Not Dexter Lawrence, but because Dallas came back and matched. He was a defensive tackle. Defensive end, I'm sorry. Dallas came back and matched his he's with San Francisco now. Dallas came back and matched his money, but he said he left because he wanted to go someplace where he was truly appreciated. I mean, because he went to the Broncos and they had a terrible year. Now he's
talking about Randy Gregory.
Now he's with the San Francisco 49ers, but that speaks volumes, man. I mean, and if you think about it, historically, when people have been in Dallas, I mean, they've gone there and they've done okay. But once they get injured, that's it. And when they go to other teams, they thrive. Even like, and I'm gonna throw this name out here, Awuzie. I mean, he had a little run after he left Dallas. When he was in Dallas, he had all the potential in the world. Once he got hurt, he never got healthy again. He left Dallas his first year in Cincinnati. He balled out. You know, and that's a constant theme in Dallas. I don't know what's going on there or whatever. And I know it's Jared, but
I don't even know why you brought that up.
Yeah, Dallas really needs this game to turn their season around. They really need to win it.
Well, see, this here starts a stretch for us. We got y'all on Sunday. Then we go to the Raiders the following Sunday. Then we got back-to-back weeks. The Jets and the Giants, both of them is primetime games. Then we go to the bye week, and that's the beginning of November. But this is our last weeks of the schedule. Come off the bye. We go at Commanders, home to the Ravens, home at the Browns, at the Bengals, home to the Browns, at the Eagles, at the Ravens, home to the Chiefs, and finish up home to the Bengals. That is the worst schedule.
I see 3 games y'all should be kind of halfway concerned about.
That is the worst.
The Bengals game, don't be worried about it.
But see, here's the thing. The only reason that I'm not really tripping about it now, it's on paper, it is a terrible schedule. On paper, it's a terrible schedule. The only reason I'm not worried about it is because for the last 2 years, when I ain't had no quarterback play, I've been 6-0 and 5-1 in the division. That ought to tell you all you need to know right there. And I ain't had.
But even outside of the division, you don't have to worry about nothing. I mean, Washington might be your biggest concern out of all those teams.
Out of the last 2 years, you know who has beat us as a starting quarterback out of the last 2 years? Deshaun Watson. We have beaten Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow the last 2 years. So that's why I say I'm not really concerned about that end of the schedule. Yeah, it's backloaded. And you see how they dropped that Chiefs game in there on Christmas Eve? Because I ain't like that at all. But you know, if you want to know where you at, we got to play the little boy. I ain't worried about it. I can deal with it. You know, I play the little boy.
And if you beat him in the regular season, it don't matter. is when you get to that postseason.
I know, because look here, bro. They gonna come, they do the merry-go-round play and have me looking stupid out there, boy. Look here. I don't pull on Pat Mahomes' cake, bro, because I know better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pull on his cake. Now the Monday night game this week is gonna be interesting though, because it's the Chiefs at home against the Saints.
See, it don't matter though.
No, it don't.
See, I'm gonna say, okay, even if the Chiefs lose or win, I'll say
they're not gonna lose that game.
Just because
they ain't gonna lose that game. They ain't gonna lose that
game. You got little boy.
You got Derek Carr
and Andy Reid.
That's why I say the Chiefs. Yeah, I'm never gonna go.
You got Derek Carr, but I will say this here though: the Saints have enough weapons to cause them problems,
and the Saints got enough defense to cause them problems too, because they will collapse at the wrong time.
Right. Because really, they shouldn't have lost to the Eagles. They did that to themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, this is a big week. I'm quite sure we'll be on the phone all day Saturday and Sunday. No, most definitely Sunday night, just because of the importance of and this is a game that I feel like we need to play every year. Honestly, it's just like we play the Raiders. I like playing the Raiders every year. To me, that's meant to be. The Raiders and the Steelers need to play every year. The Steelers and the Cowboys need to play every year. Just like for y'all, the Cowboys need to play Green Bay every year. That's football.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Yeah,
no, we don't.
Yeah, y'all
no, we don't. No.
Hey, when the Bucs bringing out the creamsicles, baby? Because one thing,
the Dallas game.
The Dallas game. Okay, all right. I want to see the creamsicles. Because look here, let me tell you why. Say what you want. That is the smoothest helmet in all the football, baby. It is the smoothest helmet.
Verdi gonna come back through the door. We're gonna draft Steve Young #1 again and watch him go to the Houston Gamblers or whatever the hell they were in the USFL. He said, "Screw it, I ain't even gonna play for the Bucs. I am gonna go to the Houston Gamblers."
But you know what though?
What this all about?
But honestly though, from a historical standpoint,
I wouldn't win either.
It is the prettiest uniform.
Yeah, that is. Just the helmet.
Just the helmet. Just the helmet. Because the prettiest uniform belong to the Chargers. The Chargers have the prettiest uniform of all NFL teams. But from a helmet standpoint, it's the iconic Buccaneer, man. There's nothing as smooth as that fella, man. He is smooth with
the whiskey commercial, Captain Morgan. That's the original Captain Morgan right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
It fits, man. I'm glad y'all wear them once a year. That's good. You need to though, because that's just like speaking of uniform. Like the Eagles, when the Eagles bring out the Randall Cunninghams, the Eagles look better like that, man. That's the Eagles to me. When they bring out the Randall Cunninghams, I'm like, okay, they look like a football team. Now, Falcons.
Dallas got to bring out the oversized jerseys.
Yeah,
that they used to have with the up down.
Yeah. But the Falcons brought out the red helmets. I already knew that was a win anyway, because you play them Ross with them red helmets on, you ain't gonna beat them. Because shoot, that's what they need to go back to. To me, that's when the Falcons were falconing, because they look like the Georgia Bulldogs did.
Hey, on the real, I like them Detroit Lions helmets last night.
Oh, look, when they first put them out when they first put them out, I was like, I don't know. But they look good last night in the game.
Yeah, it's the way the light. I mean, it looked Panthers like Tip said, but it wasn't Panthers. The way the light hit them, them helmets look good.
Yeah, when they first put them out, I was like, I don't know about this. This ain't gonna look right.
When they stood and looked, that was tight.
Yeah, but then when I looked at it last night, I was like, yeah, that kind of do work though. That kind of do work. But they it looked better than the one they had last year with the old symbol on it. I didn't like it. It was a little too plain, Yeah. And this is the thing. I don't mind you having multiple stuff, because we do it in college. Because one thing I can say about Nike, got done ducks. Them boys, that uniform they had Saturday night, I was like, God dog, that look good. And it opens up so much. But I'm from the.
They got their own section in the because I've been to the Nike store 1,000 times now down in Portland.
Right.
If you go to they got their own, the Ducks I'm talking about, got their own little carve out piece. Bruh. And they always keep an NBA player to sign something on the side.
Right. Well, I'm gonna tell you, they got one. I think they're gonna wear it week after next, because I forgot who their next big game is.
I bet it'll be tight, yeah.
Oh, they put it out the other day. I was like, ooh.
That's still Night University. That's all
I know. But the thing is, you be crazy not to take it, man. Because my thing is that helps, because you want to. I'm a firm. Dave, when you went to Fairfield Central with me, all right, we might not have won a whole lot of games, but one thing about us, we were gonna look good out there on that field.
There you go. There you go.
And we kept uniform combinations, and it's worse now because Fairfield's a Nike school now, so they got 3-4 uniforms, man. You know, nice. They wear gold, they wear white, they wear gray, they wear black. You know,
I bet the gray ones is tight. I bet them gray ones is tight.
That gold is popping.
I bet that gray is tight.
I mean, but it's like, but you remember when we first started playing, you know, we were the first ones to wear the gold joints on the basketball court. You know, we was Michigan. We got our stuff when Michigan got their stuff. Black socks. Black socks. Now we were wearing Converse, but you know, that was when Converse was still.
That was the name of the shoe. The Converse weapons.
The weapons was nasty back then, boy. Shoot, they need to bring. But Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, he with Converse. He bringing them back.
Well, Converse is owned by Nike.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's wearing Converse because they said they were.
I thought I'd never have a pair of Chucks until I moved here, and I actually got 3 pair of Chucks just because part of the West Coast thing is everybody. Converse is in business because everybody
wears Chucks, man.
Chucks. Every single person got a pair of Chucks.
A Chuck,
I would say this here though for Converse though, if you really want to get a niche market, bring back the Dr. J All-Stars, because I know one person that will for sure have them, because that was the first signature shoe I ever had growing up.
I had the Magic Johnson.
Look at them red joints, them white with the red Converse stripe and star. Boy, you couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me nothing then. I was like, ooh, I got me a pair of Dr. J All-Stars, boy. You know, because to me, if he will forever be, I love Mike. Don't get me wrong. Mike is the GOAT. He is my GOAT. Anybody want to fight about it, we'll fight all day, because I ain't never went home from no girl because LeBron was playing.
Let's say that for basketball season.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you know, Tony, I got a up close and personal Michael Jordan story that he can drop straight to hell for me on a razor blade into an alcohol bath. You remember the dunk contest with the Coliseum T? And
he was there.
Him and Punk, Rick Henry. I got a lot.
He got this.
JoJo English whooped his ass. I don't care what nobody say.
But Mike really didn't do that.
Is a bastard, and I'm gonna end the podcast with that.
Mike really didn't do one of his great dunks, but see, we could go. That's a whole show.
JoJo.
That's a whole show of who had the greatest dunk of all time, because I got 2 that I can put up there, because everybody gonna say Vince, you know, the reverse 360, that. But there, nothing is as good as Come Fly With Me. Because he was sideways. He was sideways. He was sideways.
Anything Spud Webb did.
No.
Spud
looked good because he was 5'2". Okay?
Yeah.
But
if you can dunk.
From a power standpoint, though, he shouldn't have lost to Dominique. That's the only reason. Now, see, Dominique supposed to have 3 dunk titles. Because
I'm trying to think of that starting 5. Wittenberg, Webb, Lorenzo Charles. I used to be a master of that.
Earl Bailey and Charles Shackelford.
Yes. That's it. Yeah.
Because when Spud left to go to the league, that's when Corciani and Rodney Monroe come in there.
Yeah, fire and ice.
Yep. And you couldn't do nothing with them. You couldn't do nothing with them boys then. I was so sick. I was so sick of them boys then, cause they was killing North Carolina then. But Rodney Monroe, there are three fellas I got mad respect for in the ACC, and Rodney Monroe, Lynn Bias, and Randolph Childress. Cause them fellas they put burden on me in their lifetime, boy.
Man, I remember when that Lynn Bias. I was still in Baltimore when that headline came through. That he got drafted and the whole that it was great because because that dude was the city. The city was right because the Colts had left in the middle of the night. The Bullets, who used to be the Baltimore Bullets, went to Washington and became the Washington Bullets. Yeah, and he was just the city. And then boom. All gone.
When we opened the Smith Center and he come down there and drop them 35. Bruh, I was like, yeah, shoot. And he wasn't. That was the team that still had Keith Gatlin, him, and the other boy on it.
Massenberg.
Yeah, you couldn't do nothing with the boy.
Yeah.
You couldn't do nothing with him.
Them a grown man. Yeah.
That's when everybody in the ACC had, because that was when Georgia Tech had Sally and Bruce Dow Ripple and
3D and Dennis Scott.
Yeah. Oh man, look at man. Growing up back then, because the Holly Farms game of the week was coming on, you already know. That's when we were still.
What was the other score they had at Georgia Tech? Not it's the one guard that was with. He was the quiet one, but he'll get you 22. Who?
Come on, Brian Oliver.
Yes. Yeah. No, not Brian Oliver. No, I think I'm later. Go ahead. No, my bad. Yeah.
Brian Oliver was with Dennis Scott and Kenny Anderson.
Yeah. Is it Brian Oliver? It might be.
Yeah, it was Brian Oliver.
Yeah, probably all Brian Oliver.
Yeah, it was Brian Oliver.
Yeah.
Because that was when that was when Virginia had Brian Stitt and Rick Carlisle, who coaches what's called now?
Courtney Alexander.
Courtney Alexander, yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's us. We know that. Because even Clemson did, because that was Eldon Campbell and
Dale Davis.
Dale Davis and what the Marshall boy, the point guard.
Yeah, I see his face. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when everybody all 9 schools back then was tough.
Yep.
You wasn't going in there. You wasn't going in there any kind of way talking about winning no basketball game, bro. Shoot, I miss them days, man. I don't like the new ACC, man. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Ever since everybody came in, I tolerate Notre Dame, but it ain't the same, because you already knew. You used to know what game you were gonna lose when you were in North Carolina. You knew when you went to Virginia, that's a loss because you can't go to Virginia and win.
Yep.
You always had to be careful when you went to Wake Forest, just because of Wake Forest.
Tony, you remember the time me and you was on the phone for the second half, almost of the whole game, when Rick Fox beat Oklahoma by his damn self?
Yes, sir.
He was an 8 seed.
Yes,
me and T stayed on the phone. Man, Rick Fox by himself beat
Texas
and Oklahoma.
Big Oklahoma, yeah.
Mookie Blaylock, I remember that.
Mookie Blaylock, Stacey King, and they just had a squad.
They had a squad. And
Rick Fox by himself.
Because that was that year. King Rice, because JP wasn't playing worth nothing. Man, we were terrible.
Yeah.
Rick Fox said, "Fuck the whatever they call Bahamian." Said, "I'm gonna put this on my shoulders," and man, he took us, and that was one of the best. Me and T stayed on the phone the whole time during that whole second half, man. That was crazy.
Because that was
Jefferson Pilot Network.
What it was? 87, 88?
Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, because that was when because Kelly was with us. He stayed on us because that's when Syracuse, that when Derek Coleman was killing it.
DC and
Derek Coleman and Sherman Douglas were killing everybody, man.
Ronnie Cycli too. Cycli.
Ronnie Cycli was rough.
Hey, Ronnie will catch a oop on
Ronnie, and that's when the Hoyas had Reggie Williams and Zoe and who were playing guard back then? Who were they point guard?
I see him. I can't remember.
Floyd. Sleepy Floyd.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It was Sleepy Floyd.
Yes. Yeah. I remember Alonzo Mourning's game against Duke. I knew he was because he straight did a back on Christian Laettner. Christian Laettner, remember he was running through the lane? Zoe caught the ball. Yeah, I said, yep, this about to be on right here.
Look at
They won that game.
Zoe showed that them early years at Georgetown. Zoe was bad. That's when Big Monday was the thing because you had if you played the first game on the weekend on CBS, the second game was gonna be on ESPN on Big Monday live from the Carrier Dome. Billy Owens and the Syracuse
Billy Owens.
And let me tell you,
next Magic Johnson, remember?
Yeah, and let me make you laugh. This is what's gonna make you laugh. The first time I went to Kingston, Kelsey, I went in the summertime.
You got lucky. I did.
Flew into Syracuse. I was looking out the window. I was like, you know what? That's Syracuse. That's the first time I had ever seen the Carrier Dome and wasn't no snow on the ground.
Yeah.
Because every time
I didn't get no
to that point, I had always been, if you saw an outside picture of the Carrier Dome from the sky, snow was always on the ground. I'm like, man, that's the Carrier Dome. Crazy.
Yeah, I never got that luxury. I went in February.
Right, y'all have a good weekend. We'll be in touch. Great show. Everybody listen up. I have everything out in a little bit. But again, we got great feedback on last week's show and whatever.
I ain't even looked at it yet. I gotta go take a look.
But that's what we do, bro. That's what we do. I
did that on purpose, man. I didn't want to talk about Dallas last week.
Well, that's all right. And
Kelsey, I felt that. That's why I just kept taking it the direction.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Face, man.
Well, look at it. He didn't want to get it.
I was the same way too. I mean, the Saints just jumped in hell. I ain't even know. I mean, not the Saints. The Broncos just jumped, and I didn't know what was going on. So hey,
that's it.
Good.
Yeah, a little Stephen A. Jr. over here. So, I didn't want to deal with it. I know he's gonna hit me at some point in the season. But it was too early for it this week. Last week.
Well, look, you should have took it last week because you messed around Sunday. Now you're gonna get it Sunday, and you're gonna get it Monday, and you're gonna get it Tuesday. All
I'm saying is this, man. Let Skeet have his fun, man. Because we're not going nowhere. Let him get this win.
No,
we're gonna beat you on Sunday night.
Look here.
We're gonna beat you on Sunday night.
I don't want to hear that all night Sunday night. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
44 State first. I know football. Dallas will beat Pittsburgh.
I do not want to hear Skeet Mile for the rest of the year.
You gonna hear it. I'm sorry. You gonna hear it.
Dallas, this how it's gonna be in the other chat with Pop, all of them. And if Dallas lose, everybody talks. They get on Rick and Skeet's ass. When I tell you, and it don't stop. And Hut is the ringleader.
No,
because he's a Pittsburgh. Hut, and you know Hut team. Hut will stay on your ass for 24/7, and he do it for. And Eldrick, because he's a Panthers fan and his team is sorry as hell, he just keep pumping it up for Hut to get on all the Dallas people.
Well, see, we all grew up during the age of Tony Dorsett, Roger Staubach, Terry Bradshaw, Franco Harris. So it's some old wounds that we don't soothe too often. And I'm still mad about Neil O'Donnell. So that ain't never.
O'Donnell,
hey man, when I was a Dallas fan, the first time I ever cried about sports was the catch. I was on my couch in Baltimore. I said this. And then I'm gonna tell you another time I got really sad because I wanted the 49ers to lose so bad. And when the offensive lineman for Cincinnati, Pete Williams, could not get across that goal line, it was that whole Rams situation that started the 49ers dynasty. I'm like, man, that was my two biggest heartbreaks at that moment of sports was the catch and Cincinnati not beating San Francisco in that Super Bowl.
But see, this is the thing. If ever you are in a argument with a Cowboy fan, if you want to stop talking.
Man, go to any podcast, man.
They can't say nothing after that. Once you do that right there, they go to the high. Come on, baby, let's go home. Come on. Come on, baby, let's go home.
Like Deion did Ocho and Shannon Sharp. He's going to end his last season.
All right, fellas, man.
All right, fellas. Y'all be good, man.
Take it easy, man.